It's Sunday, October 24th, 2021. I went up to, I took Nooch today. They had a family day, so I took Nooch up to the bouncy house. And we waited online, and it was like 28 minutes online, and then he gets up and he goes in the bouncy house for like 38 seconds, and it was like best day ever. We then came back. The boys came over, Alexander and Ben, and we had dinner. And then all of a sudden, it's like out of nowhere. First of all, I'm so full, which I'm thankful for, but all of a sudden, it's like my energy level, the temperature outside dropped, which I noticed, and then my energy level just dropped. Now, I'm still doing work in this tetra region over here where it's totally blank and I don't know what's going on in all the squares at upper gamma or lowercase gamma. But what I can say is I look horrid here. I look almost like my eyeballs are sucked in. I'm still not healing well. But God only knows what I'm breathing out on the Bayside Station streets between the modified car mufflers and what just comes through the streets. I had a conversation with my children tonight, and I'm like, I'm just curious. I was like, to the best of your knowledge, I was like, is it legal or illegal to smoke marijuana on the streets? And they're like, no, it's illegal. And I'm like, right, that's what I thought. I was like, no, because sometimes I'm up there, and then I told him about the smoking thing with the guy with the truck. I didn't tell him. And then I said crop dusting, and he's like, that's funny. Dad says that in a different sense. And I'm like, right, yeah, okay. But all of a sudden, like, I just lose all my energy, and I just want to lay down. And if I could go take a nap, like, but then I lay down, and I'm wide awake. And this has been happening, but like this is one portion of the biological attacks that I've been experiencing since I've been in the state of New York. And it happened to me in Virginia as well, just not to this severity. In Virginia, it was a milder effect. It wasn't so many different slices of problems culminating all at once. But here, like, my kids are here, and, I mean, I'm speaking to them. They can see I'm not on drugs. Because, like, Linda and Lou, back when we were losing the house, made it sound like I was on drugs, which I wasn't. Then even after the fact, made it sound like I was on drugs, which I wasn't. I just can't get biologically back into a healthy sequence between the no money for like Whole Foods and so on and so forth. I mean, there's no money for cosmetics and hygiene. There's no money for vitamins and nutrition. There's no money for exercise or even time away from Bayside Station. It's like I'm locked into this disgusting, derelict, area, which is purposely poisoning and dangerous and harmful, with no way out. So I'm speaking to them, and I'm like, I know how it might look. But for them, I've never done drugs before. Like, I mean, when they were kids, I mean, I didn't do anything. And then there was a time where I was, but I was honest about it. I was on prescription pain pills for the pain in the lower extremities while I was going through various testings, MRIs, and they did energy tests on my legs and things to try to figure out, and I was going to Dr. Barron at the time for chiropractic. to try to figure out if there was a way to cease the pain without pain medication. So like there was this whole period where it was under control per se, but like trying to go the medical route, medical just was not able to help whatsoever. And then I just took myself off all of the medication, and now I'm just hobbling around in horrific pain. But now so now I'm not on any medication whatsoever, but I'm breathing in all of this shit that is in the air in the local area, and it's like being in a microwave. So it is so highly toxic and cancerous anyway. It's like being hit with the gamma photon waves that follows you everywhere. It's penetrating through the skin, making it like almost, it's making it hard to heal, and so on and so forth. And then I have to combat now the stigma that everybody's built that I'm some form of drug addict, which I've never been, and some kind of mental patient, which I've never been. I'm a highly intelligent being, and I can itemize out, if I know what direction to look for, what's plaguing me in the vicinity. But it's been quite a difficult time between being poisoned and then having to point out and look for the source of all the poisons, and then try to like stay awake and alive enough and give a shit enough to actually report it in. So I'm like, like now I want to go back out and finish my walk, but it is like I've got to drag myself out the door in all of the pain that I'm in with looking this horrific, and then have the stigma of my children looking at me like I was some horrible parent. And I'm like, are you all the same fucking kids that I raised? Because like Tia Frio, my parents and my kids all jumped on me tonight saying something about like, yeah, Jason didn't do anything. I'm like, Jason's work schedule was like 5 days on, 2 days off, 5 days on, 3 days off. So it was always a rotating thing. He had the children, he picked them up, he was supposed to get them Friday night. He usually came Saturday for a long time, and then it went back to Friday. And then he dropped them off Sunday. And then he had to work and sleep in between. So if he had like a full 1 day per week, and he got them 3 weekends a month. So he had them for 1.5 days, 3 weekends a month. So it's 3 days a month for their entire youth while I was trying to work and whatnot. So I'm like, so now you kids are sitting here as teenagers telling me, because you've lived with him now for a few years while I was stuck here in and out of like some really bad fucking situations that your grandparents and your shitbag father put me through, with the dirtbag Tia Frio. So now I'm like, so now you're telling me like what? That I was the bad parent? I'm just confused, because I have years of taking them to school, events, and being the parent on record with live-in nannies, by the way, and therapists and all sorts of stuff that documented all along the journey that I was always the one present, and I was always sober, and I was quiet, but I was always there for them. And now I'm just curious how I get the bad rap. How the fuck does that work in this human situation? Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. And why is it the cop that rapes the girl who has the kid, who doesn't fucking like him, doesn't want him, and then he chokes in the middle of the fucking night, scaring the fuck out of my mom and myself, and we had to go to therapy over that, which was documented, by the way. How did that guy get to be the hero in all of this? I'm just fucking curious. Because last time I checked, the only thing he wanted the kids for was so he didn't have to pay child support, which is a joke if you knew how much he was really paying. So he could put a dormer on his house and, like, actually enjoy himself. Right, yeah. That's not enough reason to ruin my fucking life and my kid's life, just saying. star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's October 24th, 2021, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is still broken.